Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to the channel. It is officially that time of the month to do some predictions. And this is probably the most loaded week of pro wrestling that we have had in quite some time. We got not only Night of Champions to get into, but also AEW Double or Nothing. So, of course, I had to bring in the coolest people that I know, and that is Righteous Reg and Phil Lindsey, the duo now of Grapsody. How are you guys doing, man?
I'm good. It's been kind of a long week, man, and I'm supposed to be catching a flight tomorrow. Yeah, but excited for Vegas. Excited for a lot of wrestling this weekend.
Reg, you're already in Vegas, right?
Already in Vegas, watched a 6-hour wrestling show last night. I'm the most burnt out I could be in a long time. I came on this
6 hours.
laughing. Yeah, that's insane. I came on this laughing because we have a guest that looks like down here in the corner, and it got me real good. I'm like, oh, Will's here too.
So it was like I was sitting here and I was thinking about this yesterday, and I'm like, man, we're gonna have Grapsado again. Like, this is gonna be so great, this and that. And then I started thinking about Will, and I started thinking how, right now he's not, doing any podcasts, so he's probably feeling a little bit FOMO, kind of missing out just a little bit. So I kind of felt like it would be wrong to have Grapsado without Will Washington in spirit here with us. So I was like, I'm gonna get his little picture from Day After Dynamite and put it on the actual screen so that Will is with us in spirit. But
Hey,
we
man,
are.
It is day after Dynamite, so I mean,
It is.
I'm gonna get. What if Will sends me a cease and desist letter?
Ooh,
I'm gonna get sued.
I'm staying off of that.
And we go JK, who says Will is always here. He's always here in some form or fashion. But we got in an insane amount of wrestling to cover. But before we get to that, really quickly, for those of you that are here, just a heads up, today as we go through the pay-per-views, if you want to help support this podcast and keep us funded and also help me pay my guest as well, you are more than welcome to send a super chat at any point throughout the show. They really do help us out a whole lot. So we will be reading those throughout the podcast. But also take part in the chat. We will be pulling up people's comments, seeing what you guys are saying and all of that. So Reg is right now in Las Vegas. Phil, you fly out tomorrow. I fly out tomorrow. Before we get into our predictions, Las Vegas, baby. How do you guys feel about spending the weekend in Las Vegas? Reg, since you're already there, give us the 411 about what's going down right now. What's the vibe? What's going on?
Bring your shorts. Expect to be sweaty all day. No pants. Have a drink. It's just ridiculous. It's Las Vegas as much as you would expect it. Memorial Day weekend. My cousin lives here in Vegas, and he said there's, with predictions and expectations, possibly could be 500,000 people here, 500,000 people in Vegas this weekend for Memorial Day. So
wow.
Be prepared, you guys. Denise's face.
I am not ready to be around that many people. Like, it is, I mean, it always is like that in Las Vegas. And this is not the first time, obviously, that I've been to Double or Nothing in Las Vegas. But still, hearing the actual number is something. Phil, how excited are you to fly down over to Las Vegas?
Yeah, I think it just hit me this week. I saw people tweeting that are already down there and like tweeting selfies. I'm like, hey, I know that person. Kind of ready to get up out of here, man.
Are you gonna do some gambling? Do you guys do any gambling?
I'm going to try not to. I have been gambling regularly on basketball. I feel like it is.
Didn't you lose $5 the other day? The last time you and I did a stream, you lost $5, Phil.
$10.
Damn.
So, just $5-10 here and there. I did win the other day, so I was a little excited and then lost the next day, but it's all right.
Yeah.
What about you, Reg? You gonna gamble?
No gambling for me. I'm just sticking to the wrestling and trying to stay cool. I've lost too much money here in Las Vegas over the years, and I'm not giving them any more mine.
You're not gonna hit a slot, just one slot?
It's hard when you've been drinking and you've been outside all day. The slots are right there. You're like, you know what? I got $5. Let me put it in real quick.
Yeah, I always hear those stories of those people that never gamble, and they're always that one to put like $1 in a slot, walking out of a casino, and they'll win like $800 or something, and they never gamble. It always happens.
Phil, you're gonna be mad. That happened to me one time. Yes, it was actually I think the last time that I was there, or the time before that. I never really gambled. I think I put in like $5, and I went home with like $80-something that day. I was so freaking proud. I couldn't believe it. But guess what? After that, my luck went away. It completely died down and I never won again. But this is what I do. This is the secret. You give yourself a budget. Whatever your budget is, you cannot go more than that. So the last 2 times my budget was $20. This time my budget
$20.
is, get this, $50 whole dollars. $50 whole dollars.
Wow.
So let's see how that goes.
Nah, but yeah, last year I went, I was standing in a long line to check into the hotel, and the guy that stood in front of me asked me to hold his spot when he went to the bathroom. Goes to the bathroom, hits a slot while he's at the bathroom, comes back, and he's won $800.
Whoa.
Damn,
on a bathroom
man.
break.
Yeah.
Damn.
He came back with McDonald's. He was like, "You sure you don't want any food?" And I was like, "I'm good." And his wife like insisted that I ate McDonald's.
Well, yeah, he got an extra $800.
Nah, he was in a given mood, I guess.
That's nice. That's nice. Well, if any of you guys gamble and win a whole lot of money, just hit me up. If you guys are in the good mood to give some of it away, I'm here. What's up? But we got a couple of super chats to get into. Thank you so much to Matt Reichel for kicking us off with our first super chat of the day. He says, "It's my peepos, Grapsado. I got my ticket for Collision in Chicago. Miss my homies." Phil, you're out there in Chicago. Are you going to go to the premiere show of Collision?
Yeah, definitely gonna be out here this summer. Probably gonna get a ticket to the Dynamite on the 25th as well. So yeah, we're definitely out here. Summertime shy, man. Ain't nothing like it.
Tired of y'all. Here you go again. Another Chicago show. They're gonna go celebrate this guy that's coming back. All right.
Taylor Cannon sends in a super chat saying, "Hey guys, which show would each of you say you're most looking forward to?" Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put Reg on the spot. Reg, you're up first. Which show are you most looking forward to?
Most show looking forward to. I'd probably go with Double or Nothing, just because we're gonna be there. There's some interesting developments gonna come out of this show. I think a lot of people have been talking about the build-up, things that have came into this, and it hasn't been the greatest. But I think, as always, AEW is going to come through with a big wrestling filled show that'll knock it out of the park. So probably Double or Nothing for me. Phil,
are you on the same boat here or different option?
Yeah, I think because we're going to Double or Nothing, it's hard to not be excited about live wrestling. The card for Night of Champions does look good, but I'm definitely more excited for the AEW show.
As I was preparing for this show and kind of getting all the graphics together, I was like, damn, you know what? This Night of Champions card really does look very good. Like, it's a show that I'm very much looking forward to. But I have to agree with both of you. It's a totally different thing when you're watching and when you're going. And really, honestly, if it wasn't for that Anarchy in the arena match, I probably might have even gone with Night of Champions being a stronger card. But I'm going to have to go with Double or Nothing because, one, we'll be there. It's a totally different experience, and man, I can't wait for that Anarchy in the arena match.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's pretty much why I'm gonna go with Double or Nothing. But let's go right into it. We're gonna kick off our predictions with Night of Champions, and then we'll go ahead and jump into Double or Nothing. So let's get right to it. It is time to do our predictions, and here we go. First match that we've got, we are going to start off with the Intercontinental Champion Gunther defending against Mustafa Ali. Phil, you are up with the first prediction of the evening. Who's got this one?
As much as I would like to say that the homie from Chicago is going to pull this out and bring this belt home, Ring General is going to win this match and put this guy to shame. I just hope it's at least a good match. I think Ali deserves kind of like a showcase match. I'm a little bit worried that it's going to be a squash. I hope I'm wrong.
I think so too. I you know what though? I kind of want to see if it's going to be a squash. I want it to be those ones where like Gunther really lays it in on poor Ali and you just like, that's what I want to see. I just want to see Gunther like chop the living heck out of him. I think that's going to be fun. I'm sorry. Reg, are you with me? Are you not with me?
Listen, I want to just start with Ali's story is very complicated to me. He'll come out, he'll have these great promos. He did a great promo on his car on Monday, and you get excited for him, but then you're like, there's no way he's gonna beat this guy, Gunther, right here in this big match. Gunther's being set up to be more accolades, one of the greatest Intercontinental champions of all time. And I don't think it's his time. This is kind of a really quick put together match. It's only been a couple of weeks. Ali's doing a great job promoting this. That Brock Lesnar thing was hilarious the other night. But I can't see him winning the belt this Saturday.
I'm gonna put Reg on the spot. Do you think this is the book a random brown person match for the Saudi show?
I didn't want to say it, honestly. I did not want to say it. I'm like, where's Mansoor at? Like, he's gonna somehow win a Royal Rumble or something. Yeah, Mansoor. But yes, Phil, I agree. That is honestly exactly what it is. They're like, how could we get Ali on this card? And if they go Denise's route, that's going to be very sad. Like, book the brown guy, and then they just beat him to death.
Don't do the Ricochet route with this guy. Let him have a good match. I want to believe that the Easter egg here is Brock walking past him and cutting off his promo and telling him to get a life. Maybe that means we're going to get more serious Ali coming out of this. I don't know.
You think we're going to get the eyeliner? Didn't he have the eyeliner last time? Who had the eyeliner? Someone had the eyeliner, right?
Yeah.
Was it Ali?
He had the eyeliner and he had, didn't he have cornrows?
I don't remember, but I know he had the eyeliner and I love dig the eyeliner on him.
Yeah.
Reg had to turn around.
Did he have cornrows?
I can't remember.
Come on, man. I thought he did.
Okay.
He's rocked cornrows a few times. I'm not crazy, man. Come on.
Someone find the picture. If anybody finds the picture, send it to us on Twitter. We need to double check this. But we got a super chat here from Speed Punk who says, all I hope for the AEW is we get a new champion. Ooh, a hot take there, Speed Punk. We will get to that once we get to AEW. But thank you so much for sending in this super chat. There are a couple people saying that he actually... Oh, I don't know if they're talking about the eyeliner though, or the hair. I don't know, so never mind. We'll wait and see what goes on there. But I think it's very clear that it has to be Gunther here. Ain't nobody buying that Mustafa Ali is actually going to win. But next up, we have the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Rhea Ripley defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Natalya. Is this another one of those matches that you're like, we know exactly who's going to win? Reg, we'll kick it off with you.
Same story as Ali. I feel so sad for Natty. Also had a great promo on Monday after the show on her own. Like, hey, go film it in the back by yourself, Natty. She just gets the raw end of the deal, and you just know she's in there to take this fall against Rhea. It's so sad. Like, it's not Rhea's time at all. And if anybody's a threat, I'm sorry, Natty. I love you. You're a great wrestler. You're not the threat to Rhea. Come on.
Phil, thoughts?
I've been sitting here looking at it. I have an update. He did have the eyeliner. He had it cornrowed on the sides, just not at the top. He had it braided on the sides, just not at the top.
So do you like the look? Do you hate the look that he came out with? Or is it
was a cool look.
Whatever.
It was a cool look. He had the gold gear jumping off. I personally think he should go back to wearing the fight trunks that he did when he first came back.
Those Chicago guys just stick together. That's all this is.
Yeah, but no, Natty's definitely losing here. I think it was cool that she tried to add some depth to this feud with the Twitter promo. And I think it's great that she's going to go back and that crowd's familiar with her because she's had matches there now. But she's definitely losing.
And I feel like everybody is kind of along the same lines of thinking. I agree here with Gavin Long and what you guys said. I love Natty, but she's not winning. And it's one of those things that is unfortunate because you don't want title defenses like this. I want to actually believe that the other person might have a chance of actually winning, but that's kind of where we're at right now with this. So with that being said, my pick is also Rhea Ripley. In fact, I would be pissed if Rhea Ripley lost. I don't think she's gonna. But this next one might be a little bit more harder to predict, possibly. I don't know. This is going to be for the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair defending her title against Asuka. Phil, we will kick it off with you. Do you think that there is a chance that Asuka will actually walk out the Raw Women's Champion?
Listen, I talked about this last time we were together on a stream during WrestleMania weekend. I think we talked about this. I went down to the floor. I watched the match on the floor because I was that excited for this match. I wanted to be in the presence of my favorite wrestler winning this match. And I sat there afterwards and I was like, they couldn't just give her the win. They couldn't just give Asuka the win. And so there's so many weird things about this match as well. Why are we going back to this rematch now? Why is the build to this match better than the WrestleMania build? Why is she still Raw Women's Champion and both of these women are on SmackDown? They haven't even addressed that at all. So it makes me feel like one of these women have to lose at this point, right? Because you got to shake up something. And I think it makes more sense for Asuka to win here because Bianca swapping belts would be horrible after she just broke that record. So I think maybe that's what it was. Maybe they didn't want her to swap the belt before she broke the record. And so maybe Asuka's going to win. I don't know. But my prediction is still that Bianca's going to win because I just don't trust this company to do right by my favorite wrestler.
So, Phil, I got to tell you, that day at WrestleMania, I was in disagreement with you. When you said that you thought Asuka should have won, I was like, I don't know what Phil is thinking right now, but what is he talking about? This clearly had to be a win for Bianca Belair. So I kind of feel like for WrestleMania, Bianca Belair should have definitely won and did, and I was happy about that outcome because I didn't think that the story or anything that they had done with Asuka justified her actually defeating Bianca Belair, considering how dominant her run has been. I didn't think that they had done enough with Asuka to make me say or make me believe otherwise. However, I do agree with you that this build up to this match at Night of Champions has been a lot better than the one at WrestleMania. Reg, thoughts on this one? Bianca, Asuka, is there a chance we're going to see a title change?
This is probably the toughest matchup of the whole show, honestly, because it could legit go either way. The only thing kind of in the way for me is like, are they going to do this title change in Saudi Arabia with the woman that's Asuka? Like, you know how things are kind of weird over there. So I don't know. But I'm thinking, I don't want them, again, same thing as Gunther. I don't want this to be accolades. I don't want them to just have Bianca being the champion forever just so they can say it. Like, I want it to be earned. She has earned it a lot, but like, give us some reason to really get behind it. I'm under the impression that Bianca Belair is going to walk out the Raw Women's Champion on SmackDown on Night of Champions this Saturday.
So here's the thing is that like, I personally, like, I don't disagree with what you said about making it just about, records and title reigns and this and that for Bianca. But whoever they actually have defeat Bianca, I think that they need to actually give them the proper lead up to it, right? Like they need to actually give them the I'm not saying Asuka doesn't have the credibility, but I just think they need to build it up a lot more where you're like, you know what? I wouldn't mind it if she defeated Bianca Belair because I feel like that's what they have to do. And it was interesting because even at Backlash, when everybody was behind Io Sky, wanting to see her win, and I think that basically told me the viewer that hey, you know what? Maybe the audiences are not really all that on board anymore with Bianca being champ. Thoughts on that, Phil?
Oh, you could definitely hear her getting booed, both at Backlash and at WrestleMania. On the floor, you could hear it. I don't know if you could hear it as much on TV, but yeah, there were definitely fans that were booing when she won. And that's more to the point where I kind of feel like, what are you doing? You hear this crowd boo her, and then you decide, oh, let's turn Asuka heel. Like, really? I don't think they're gonna boo her. I don't think that's gonna work. I don't know. Part of me wants to believe that Asuka's gonna win this match, but I don't believe it. I think that they see Bianca as marketable. I think that they see her as one of the hottest baby faces they have. I don't think it's happening.
So so are we all in agreement that Bianca Belair here is retaining?
Yes.
Okay, I'm on board. We got YouTube member Taylor Cannon who says that she believes that Asuka might win it. So we do got some people out here, kind of going for Asuka or assuming that she might win. And let's go ahead and continue on from here. And our next match that we're going to get into is an interesting one between Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. And Reg, I will cue this one up to you. You're up first. How have you felt about the story that we've been seeing between Becky and Trish? Are you a fan? Are you not a fan? What's been working?
I like Hill Trish starting there. I think that's it. I think that's the dynamics that they're playing here were a good way to go. The
Starting
promos
with
that
love.
yes. The promos that she's been cutting though have felt kind of attitude era. Like when she came in, she's like, "I'm still doing the same thing that I was doing in 1999," and like the angles that she's taking to attack Becky, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I do like the thing that they did on Monday, the face-to-face thing. I thought that they were both great. Becky has been in a great role, looking amazing and everything. The story hasn't been the best, but it's a very exciting match. Like, this is a match that both of them have wanted for a long time. 3 women's matches in Saudi Arabia, also a great thing. And I think maybe Trish Stratus wins this match to continue the story into another match.
So were you not a fan of Trish Stratus calling Becky Lynch's daughter stupid?
What? How are we going to call a baby stupid, Denise? This is crazy.
I thought it was hilarious. I was like, oh no, she didn't. She is coming for this woman's child. But I love the follow-up promo that we got afterwards from Becky Lynch, where she was like, you're out here talking about my daughter. And, her basically saying like, no, that gave me a reason to even be more pissed off at Trish Stratus. So I liked it because there is nothing more messed up that you can do than go after someone's child. Like that's messed up, right? So that justified, the personal rivalry here. It took things to a whole other level. Phil, how have you thought about this?
Yeah, I thought I thought her calling her kid stupid was funny at the time. And then Becky getting on Instagram and going, by the way, my kid does know her colors. So yeah, shout out to Ruth because she did know her colors. So yeah, you're wrong, Trish Stratus. That render that you pulled up, what was that, by the way? It looked like they photoshopped a version of her cowboy hat on her head. It doesn't even look like look at that. This doesn't look like a real cowboy hat. It looks CG. Like what?
It's very pointy. Very pointy. I'm pretty sure she's wearing it, right?
I don't know.
It could be anything at this point.
It looked photoshopped, man. I don't know. Yeah, but no, I think the feud has been pretty good. I thought the way they got here was kind of awkward, but I think they've made the best of it. Boy, Becky annihilated Trish on Monday. That promo on Monday. That promo makes me think that Trish is going to win this match, though, because I think that she went so hard into kind of humiliating her and making it seem like, thank you, but you're not on my level. And so I feel like in some ways, people are going to want to see Trish kind of get some comeuppance, like especially Trish fans. So I kind of feel like she's going to win. And SummerSlam is kind of her event as well. So I feel like this is going to build to a second match at SummerSlam.
So I got to agree with you, though, by the way, that woof woof and her barking like a dog and her bringing it up. Ooh, that was a direction that I didn't think that they would go, but it justifies her calling her daughter dumb. You're going to bring out when you were out there barking like a dog. So this definitely got very, very personal fast. I really didn't know what my prediction was going into this, but listening to both of you kind of talk about how you feel that it's Trish getting this one and it continuing this feud, I kind of feel like I have to agree with both of you here because I can't see it going the other way if they don't want to keep this going to SummerSlam. So for that reason, I'm also going with Trish Stratus here as well. We got a super chat here from Dream Ninja 77 who says, Becky cooked Trish this week. And Dream Ninja 77, you are indeed correct. Thank you so much for the super chat as well. A friendly reminder to any of you guys, if you want to get your opinion, your hot take, your cold take, any take, you are more than welcome to send in a super chat at any point throughout the show. They do help us out a whole lot. But let's go ahead and press on because this one has been a major topic in the world of WWE, and that is the crowning of the new World Heavyweight Champion, and that is either going to be Seth freaking Rollins or AJ Styles. Phil, let's kick it off with you here. Who do you think is taking this one, and how have you felt about the incorporation of the World Heavyweight Championship?
Phil first, big surprise.
I think they've done a good job of announcing it. I thought the tournament matches were all very good. But Rollins is winning this. This is his match to win. That's his belt. If you followed this from the beginning, it looks like his belt. The day they unveiled it, he cut that great promo. They've been doing the vignettes with him ever since. Those backstage segments are good. This is his belt, man. This is when he lost the belt in Saudi Arabia to the Fiend. This is his journey back to winning. No, he's gonna spin that belt around his head like a helicopter, like Petey Pablo, and we're all gonna love it.
Yes.
Reg, do you agree? Disagree?
You know, the way that AJ Styles has been talking recently in these interviews, talking about how this belt is a secondary belt, talking about all these things. I don't know. And all the things that Phil said here, I'm like, could they be setting us up for Seth Rollins to lose this match and AJ Styles win this belt? You don't think AJ Styles going and talking crazy about this belt is because he's going to win it? Let's throw the curveball out there of like Seth Rollins is being put over hard. Let's have him doing these promos. Let's have all this stuff. And then in the end, can't win again. That would be very horrible. Do not listen to what I just said. This is Seth Rollins' championship. Seth Rollins has worked for years and years and years for this moment. He needs to be leaving this show as the new World Heavyweight Champion. And if he doesn't, you better riot, Seth Rollins. You better walk out.
He should close the show, too. I think that they should be the main event.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it would have to be, right? Like, come on, we're about to crown the new world's heavyweight champion. And my pick here's the thing with the whole, AJ Styles thing. I think they were really just trying to get us to make us possibly believe that, hey, you know what, maybe AJ Styles might actually have a chance at defeating Seth Rollins. Because like Phil said, this has felt like Seth Rollins' belt all along, or for at least a major portion of this until, obviously we still weren't sure if this was going to be Cody Rhodes' consolation bout or not. And so once that got out of the way, it was like, okay, this is definitely going to be Seth Rollins. And I feel like they have to give it to Seth. Like Seth right now, he feels hot. The people love to sing his song. He's going out there. He's a star in the way that he presents himself. I want to see Seth Rollins win this championship. Now, that doesn't mean that I would hate it if AJ Styles won, because I also really love AJ Styles, and I recognize that we only have probably a couple more years left with AJ Styles in WWE, and I would like to see him as champion once again. Now, I do also want to bring this up too, with AJ Styles kind of basically saying that the bout was, the second, like basically lowering it down just a couple notches. Did you agree or disagree with what he said? Because I kind of felt like he was telling us the truth. Do we agree? Do we disagree?
I feel like he had a point, but I also feel like that's kind of leads me to believe that he's losing, because I feel like it felt like, oh yeah, that's a consolation prize anyway. I'm not winning this. Who cares about that belt? So I don't know. I mean, he had a point, but I've been saying all along that they should have put both titles on Roman, and so everything he said had led to what I've been saying for months, that no, you handicapped a whole part of your company by putting both belts on that guy. So I do think that he was right, but it does feel a little spiteful, like, that belt anyway, who cares? And we've seen him be a sore loser when he loses at video games. I think that's the funniest thing about it.
That is something a sore loser would say.
He set it up because he's like, I know I'm going to lose, so I might as well bury the belt now while I have the chance. We have some interesting comments here that I want to read. This is from Julian Francisco, who says, it's Seth's consolation belt. And then he puts in the quote, you'll never be more than the third guy in the Shield. Do you agree with that?
I mean, well, here's the thing. Everything he said during the build up to winning this belt, when he was asked by Corey Graves what he thinks of Roman, and he was like, "No, he's selfish," and he said all these things. I was like, man, they should have given him the match against Roman last year at WrestleMania. He should have main evented WrestleMania instead of Brock, and they wasted that opportunity. So now here we are. But with that said, I think that says everything about who Seth is as a character. I think that says everything about his position in the company. He's in a unique position to make that belt matter. He's been cooking in these matches, and I think he's gonna do everything he can to make that the premier world title on TV. So I don't think it's a consolation prize. I think you can look at it in some ways, but I don't know if I would say third best in the Shield. I think it looks that way because he had a horrible babyface run, but. No, he was one of the best heels in the company at one point. So I don't know if I'd say that.
Thoughts, Reg?
I think we all we went into this thinking it might be a consolation prize, but I mean, if they're gonna be like this for Roman, and this was where we're naturally gonna end up going anyways. Like, let's just say this is a great belt. This is a great opportunity. It's been needed on Raw for so long. There's needed to be some big stakes that help along build contenders and not just have the main event scene being whatever it is. So this is going to be great, I think, for the Raw brand. But yeah, 100%, if they didn't, nobody beat Roman and he's still over there doing his thing and now he's in the tag title match. It's like, no, this is 100% a consolation and prize. But they're going to make the best of it. Seth Rollins is going to carry it and, really bring prestige to it, I think.
Right. And I think I would have agreed more with it being a consolation prize to Cody versus I don't see it that way for Seth. And that's part of the reason why I wanted Seth to be the one to win the World Heavyweight Championship first instead of Cody Rhodes.
True.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't ever give Rollins his rematch. And I think that's the biggest issue here. And I think it's the biggest difference between him and Cody as well. Like, Cody has still never beat Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Seth has beat Roman multiple times.
Alrighty, and we got a couple of super chats here. This one's from Sheldon Jackson, who says, my only question is, why did WWE have a Raw and SmackDown bracket for the World Heavyweight Championship tournament when it's a Raw title? Seth versus Finn final would have been a great final. I completely agree with Sheldon on this. I did think the tournament was great, by the way, so don't get me wrong. I love the tournament. I love the way that it worked out, but my initial thoughts were, wait, it was clearly stated by Triple H that this bout would go on the opposite brand that Roman Reigns is on. And once Roman was drafted to SmackDown, or stayed on SmackDown rather, we all knew this was going to be a Raw picture. So they never really, in my opinion, justified having SmackDown talent on that tournament. But now it's kind of one of those things where it's like, why beat a dead horse, you know? The tournament ended up working out great, and here we are. But any additional thoughts on this one's here, guys?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of is Roman's not defending his belt, so it's like, hey, what are these guys on SmackDown going to do? Let's put a tournament and at least give them something to do. Let's at least put one of them in a title match because Roman's not defending his belt. If you're one of those people, by the way, that thinks this is a consolation for Rollins, definitely doesn't help that Roman essentially took himself out of the running to be the main event of this show, and Rollins is probably going to end the night raising that belt. But he's only probably going to main event because Roman's not defending his belts.
Mm-hmm. Already setting the precedence of still being second fiddle to this guy just because he has the privilege to.
We got a super chat here from Coy Stallings. Thank you so much to Coy for this generous super chat. He says, in my opinion, the most important question in wrestling is why, which is why this Cody versus Brock is stupid to me. Why did Brock attack Cody? Ugh, would it be better if Cody was champion? Yeah, I personally think that if Cody was champion and he was in this feud with Brock Lesnar holding the championship, then it would definitely mean even more. I don't know. I don't feel like I don't feel wrong in this one. I don't know. Do you guys agree or disagree with me here?
No, I think everything Cody has done since WrestleMania, he could do as champion. He did not need to lose to do any of this stuff. The only answer I can come up with for why he attacked Cody is that Cody's next in line for a title shot. He's still probably adjacent. He's still the biggest threat to Roman as champion. Mm-hmm. And Brock has to fill away because he cannot challenge for those belts anymore. So he's looking around like, why is this guy getting all the attention? I'm going to take him out. The only answer I got. Doesn't really make a lot of sense, but
at least you found some way to justify it. Reg, anything you want to add to this one?
Yeah, I think that Brock Lesnar being this is such a silly whole thing that they've been doing with Cody. He would have been, all of this would have hit a lot harder, I think, if he was champion. Like it would have gave Brock a reason. We wouldn't be asking this question right here if Cody was champion. We wouldn't be like, well, why is Brock Lesnar randomly attacking Cody Rhodes if he was champion? So now they're in this position of, Brock Lesnar is, I like, there was a theory on Twitter this week of maybe Triple H was the reason that Brock Lesnar's attacking him. Triple H has sent Brock Lesnar to kind of try to derail Cody's momentum and, in kayfabe sense. And I'm like, I could kind of agree with that. But from here, it just feels like Brock was just like, I don't like this fool. I'm going to beat him up.
I I do like that theory that was brought up, by the way, that Triple H may be, in cahoots with Brock Lesnar on this one. And I do think that would be an interesting approach. But I do agree with you in the sense that it felt more like he just wanted to kick this guy's ass. It felt more personal to him instead of doing somebody else's dirty work, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got a super chat here from Hunter Tillman, YouTube member, sending in this very generous super chat saying, "Hey, Denise and Grapsody fam, hope everyone is having a good week so far. Super excited for this action-packed weekend, full of some great match of the year contenders from each company. Random question, favorite candy. Hunter, I love you. I did not know this was going this direction. Favorite candy, I will start off by saying mine is Trolleys. Those gummy worms with the two colors, love them. And that's the only brand of gummy worms that I will just get down on my knees and start praising. Reg, favorite candy?
I'm going to say Reese's because I want to have a debate this weekend with T and let him know that Reese's slander is not allowed. Reese's in so many different, all the incarnations just hit. I don't know how there's ever Reese's slander. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I love
T
Reese's.
Just absolutely wrong on this. That's absolutely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Phil?
Gummy bears, bro. The Albany.
You were prepared. You're like, damn, right here.
Send a sponsor, Albanese. I know you're in Indiana, adjacent to Chicago. Come on, send a sponsorship.
Okay, how about this? Is there a candy you guys don't like? Because I got one that I hate. It's Kit Kat. I cannot eat Kit Kat. I hate Kit Kat.
When you said trolley originally, in my mind, I first thought of those, those Necco wafers? I thought that's what you were saying at first. They're like old people's candy. They look like giant Smarties, but they taste like chalk. That's what I thought you were saying originally. I was like, oh, Denise is being weird. Mine's is Almond Joys because I don't like coconut like that. And who wants to bite into a big hunk of coconut like that?
Disgusting. Yeah. Disgusting candy. Licorice. Who likes licorice? It's disgusting.
Me. I like
licorice. Hold on a minute. I like
licorice.
Let's not say
black licorice. You eating that?
Oh, no.
That's what I mean. Not like Twizzlers. Like Twizzlers is not licorice. Like the black licorice.
I like the red vines. The red vines.
Yeah.
The issue is black licorice now reminds me of Jägermeister, and I just I can't.
Yeah. No.
I can't.
What is black licorice supposed to taste like? Like I get red is supposed it has the strawberries
it tastes like
on
medicine.
there.
It tastes like medicine.
It does. It tastes bad though. It tastes like the bottom of a boot. It's disgusting.
By the way, this is interesting. This is from Chaz Shaw, who says that Danielson loves black licorice.
He would.
He totally would.
I love how we can all see that. We got a couple more super chats. Let's get into these. This is from JB, who says, women's Raw belt on SmackDown, women's SmackDown belt on Raw, women's NXT tag belts on SmackDown. SmackDown stars fighting for a Raw title, #brand split. Well, JB, I mean, you're just stating facts here. This is all facts. I don't know what they're going to do about these belts. I don't know if they had a plan going into this or if this is just something that we're just going to have to roll with the punches type deal. Thank you so much, JB, for the super chat. Chi-Town Spurs says, I have a lot of problems with Saudi and WWE's partnership and boycott these shows, but the picture of Sammy at Mecca was really cool. Glad he got that. Yeah, I just saw that. What was your guys' reaction to seeing, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens heading over to Saudi? Reg, I'll start with you.
I haven't seen this picture today. I have to go and look it up. That's really interesting because, going into every one of these shows that they've ever had in Saudi, Sammy has been a vocal, a point to be like, is he ever going to go? He's talked about not going. And him now being tag team champion and actually going over there is kind of shocking to me. It's going to be interesting to see how them being on camera and everything's going to work out.
Yeah, that's going to be something interesting to see. And I did see those photos, by the way. He looked very happy and he seemed very grateful to be there too. So that's something to point out. All right, let's keep it going, guys. And let's get into our next match prediction. And the next one that we're going to get into is the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, defending against the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Oh my God, a whole lot of undisputed in there. Phil, let's start with you on this one here. Do we see Roman Reigns walking out with 4 championship belts?
He can't win this match, man.
That's
He can't.
sick.
I definitely feel like the Pinkman Jeff. If he can't keep getting away with this, he can't keep getting away with this. Do not put 2 more belts on this guy. Do not tie the tag division into this mess with this guy. Don't do it. He's going to lose. I feel like it is a lot of question marks around the stuff with Sammy. And immediately when this was announced, people were saying, oh, he's probably going to drop the belts before the Saudi show because he's not going to go. And then when the match was announced, they're like, oh, well, how is this happening? I think some of the politics around Saudi Arabia has changed with Syrian people. And so I don't know the specifics of that, but something clearly changed here. I'm glad that out of this, he got to take the pilgrimage to Mecca and go to the holy site. Those pictures look amazing. And he seemed very grateful for the opportunity. That's a once-in-a-lifetime thing for most Muslims to take a pilgrimage. So, you know, barring the wrestling stuff, none of that stuff is really matter. Like, the real-life stuff that he's gotten to do out of this is really cool.
Right.
I love that. We got YouTube members here, Tiger Claw Gaming, who says Roman 4 bouts. We got Tim Weininger, YouTube member, who says Roman loses because Solo turns on him. So, Reg, I see you nodding your head, and I'm curious, what are your thoughts on this one?
If Roman Reigns wins these belts, we riot, or whatever the saying is, because this is ridiculous. He better not. The most upsetting thing about this, honestly, is that he's going to hit 1,000 days at this show, and he's not defending the championship at the show. Night of Champions, your biggest champion's about to hit this accolade, and you're not going to let him even defend, even if it's a squash or something. Let him hold his belts up at the end of the show if he is going to hit this mark. Luckily, he's not going to, because it's going to be Seth's moment, but it is super interesting that they're going over here and he's going to do this and he's not going to, defend his championship. Very weird. Great deal he has going on. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens are winning this match. They set up a little bit of tease with Roman bumping into Solo this week. So, yeah, I think that's going to play into why the champions retain here.
Benoit Richard, YouTube member, says, can we keep some belts on TV? Yeah, for reals. Okay, so I'm about to turn heel to everybody here, but part of me, I know, I kind of want to see the chaos. I don't want to see Sammy and KO lose the belts. I'm going to be honest, I don't want to see them lose the belts, but at the same time, I want to see the chaos that would come with Roman Reigns holding those 4 belts. So, for the sake of the drama, for the sake of being the bad guy, I'm going with Roman and Solo Sikoa.
Denise, you want content, not content, Denise. Come on.
I'm gonna, what is it, like clickbait Denise out here with these crazy ass takes just to get them views? It's the little devil angel situation. I got my little devil going, go with Roman. I know, I'm disappointed in me too, but you know what? How do I say this? I'm cool with whatever happens because I'm here for the drama. So you guys can boo me in the chat.
Okay.
Phil's about to walk out from the show. He's about to walk out.
Why do you want this? Why do you want the tag team championships to be on Roman's couch on Saturdays while he's drinking a beer, not at work?
I don't know. It's this really bad little devil in me that's like, shit, what would that look like? How are people going to react? What's going to happen? Now, that doesn't mean I don't want to see Sammy and KO as champions, because I do. But part of me wonders. It wonders.
You got the, what do you call it? The devil from the Chappelle skit? It's leopard. Come on, man, it's leopard.
Yes.
My little devil. Taylor, we all got a little devil inside of us, okay? Taylor Cannon, a YouTube member, sends in a super chat saying, I really hope KO and Sammy retain. I mean, they have to, right? Roman doesn't need any more belts. He doesn't, and I know this. He doesn't need any more belts. But think about it.
No.
He's gonna have like one around his neck, 2 in his hand, 1 in his waist.
No. Don't do this.
Please don't.
Zeno Hour says, Denise got that Dominic Mysterio heat now. Get bombed, says trash ass take. Juan Ortega says, Jesus, Denise. Everybody's freaking out about this one. Well, at least we definitely spiced up the chats here. Santiago 316 says Roman 4 belts, soon 5 belts. Oh God.
That's
God.
Nasty. That's
all
nasty.
Right. Okay, so let's go ahead and press on from here, and let's get into Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. Reg, we'll start with you. Who's getting this one? What do you think is going to happen?
I'm nervous about this victory because Cody won last month at Backlash, and it's like, that means Brock Lesnar probably has to get a victory so they can have the rubber match, and that just is awful to me. I really think the way that this match ends is Brock Lesnar's going to get disqualified for going overboard with beating up Cody Rhodes.
Phil?
That's what I think. I think Cody's going to win via DQ.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to survive everything that Brock does to him. He's going to have this gutsy match, and Brock is going to finally have enough, and he's just going to cheat, and he's going to win via DQ.
All right. I kind of feel, I'm going, for me, definitely Brock on this one. That's my pick for this one. I think Brock takes this one. I also would like to see them continue build, because Brock is really fucking angry. He's really pissed off. The Brock that we've been seeing lately and all of these beatdowns on Cody Rhodes, I just want to see him be like this big time asshole type of situation. So I don't know. That's a little bit of what I would like to see in this picture here. But we got a super chat here from JB who says, Phil and Reg won't like this one. Ooh, Roman and Solo to win. Hand the belts to the Usos. The Usos are now in debt to the tribal chief.
You are right. We do
Disgusting.
not like this at all.
Handing off belts after a win, disgusting. No.
I don't agree with handing off the belts to somebody because that would just be weird. And how would you explain that in the timeline and the history of all of this?
No, thank you.
Please, no. Don't do that.
No, thank you.
I think Phil and Reg are about to walk off from the show.
No, thank you.
I feel like that thing that came out that Hogan said that Shane wants a match with him. Yeah, no thanks.
Oh my
pass. Thank you.
God. I couldn't believe that.
Keep it.
No.
Absolutely not. We saw Shane breakdancing at WrestleMania. Imagine him and Hulk Hogan breakdancing. Come on, you guys.
Wait, do you think he was being serious though? Because I wasn't sure if he said that in a joking way or legitimate.
Yeah.
Not a breakdance.
Sorry, Shane. We're not supposed to laugh at your pain, but bro.
All right. Christopher Marino sends in a super chat saying, when root for the chaos on the TV show good, when we root for the internet chaos and something is wrong on the TV show. Well, it's true. I get what you mean. Christopher.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to Christopher for the super chat. We got another one here from Sheldon Jackson who says Denise chose violence yesterday with saying she wants Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett to win the AEW Tag Team titles. Now with Roman to win the tag titles. Confirmed Denise wants tag team violence and chaos. I do.
What the hell is going on here?
Don't worry. We'll get into that in just a second. Thank you so much to Sheldon Jackson for the generous super chat. So let's get to it. We are about to jump in, switch gears into over AEW Double or Nothing. But before we do, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Wrestle Rumble, who are generous enough to sponsor this podcast. For those of you who are very confident in your predictions and you think you know what is going to happen, give it a chance. Head on over to WrestleRumble.com. Purchase an entry. Once you purchase an entry, you will get a form. On that form, you will answer questions about what's going to happen on whatever show you purchase the entry for, either Night of Champions or Double or Nothing. And whoever gets the most right will take home a massive prize. Over on the Night of Champions side, the first place winner will not only take $500 home, but they will also get the World Heavyweight Championship belt. That is massive. Over on the Double or Nothing side, the first place winner will be taking home 500 big ones. And let me tell you guys, it is definitely possible to win. In fact, a couple months ago, one of my viewers actually won $1,000 playing Wrestle Rumble. So you never know. Your predictions may be on point. Head on over to WrestleRumble.com. The link is in the description box below. Purchase your entry to either the Night of Champions or Double or Nothing Pick'em, and you might just take home some cash. All righty, and let's
wait a second, really quick. Shout out to Denise because that was live and that was amazing. Great read,
no script. By the way, I got no script. Denise. I noticed that I do better when I'm not scripted than when I'm scripted, because there's times where I wrote out my little live read and I've typed it out, and I'm right here like, oh wait, I lost where I was at. Where was I at? So it's just so much better to do it off the cuff and just go with it. If you know what you're talking about, you can just wing it, and kind of go from there. But seriously, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, and and now let's go ahead and get into AEW Double or Nothing. And our first match that we're going to talk about, I don't have a graphic for, so pardon me, but I couldn't find one anywhere. And that is Ethan Page, Austin Gunn, and Colton Gunn versus Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy. If the Hardy's team wins, Matt Hardy will own the rights to Ethan Page's contract. Reg, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on this whole feud, this whole story, and who do you think's winning this one?
I was like, did something happen? But that was on Rampage. You guys are yet to see what happens with this match. I think it's a buy-in match. It's going to be great always to see the Hardy Boys because, even through Jeff's Hardy stuff and people been saying a lot of stuff. It's still Jeff Hardy. He's still one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And seeing the Hardy Boys live and all this thing is going to be amazing. So, yeah, I think I got the Hardy Boys and Isaiah Cassidy winning this match, hopefully just getting away from this. No, they're going into a contract thing again. I was going to say getting away from this contract thing, but Hardy Boys win there in another I don't know what's going on here. But yes, Hardy Boys and Isaiah Cassidy are going to win because I hate the Guns.
I think the storyline has been a little messy. It hasn't necessarily been something that I have found easy to follow, especially I haven't been tuning into Rampage as religiously with all of the time changes and everything. So I feel a little out of the loop on this one. Phil, thoughts?
This is definitely the most I felt like Will was on this podcast because she said she didn't have the graphic, and Will just popped back on the screen with the "Hey, we're still here though." This is the most I feel like he was present on this podcast. This storyline has definitely been a mess. It definitely felt like Jeff came back and was like, "Hey, I'm coming back. What are you doing over there? I'm just doing this stuff with Ethan Page." He's like, "Oh, you like that?" You enjoying that? And he's like, kind of. He's like, nah, finish that up, man. Let's do this tag team thing. Like knock it out. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think Hardy's and Isaiah are gonna win this, or Isaiah's replacement are gonna win this.
All right, I agree here with that one too. And this has been a storyline that I don't think I've really cared too much about. But let's get into the chaos. Someone already mentioned my prediction for this one because I made it yesterday, and for this specific match, really. And this was for the AEW World Tag Team Titles with special guest referee Mark Briscoe, the FTR defending their AEW Tag Team Titles against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Yes, I want Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett to win this match because I want chaos too, but I also want something new. I know what FTR's tag team champions look like. I want to see Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal become champions. And I feel like with how hokey the storyline has been, I kind of like it. You know what? I find this entertaining, and I feel we can get some entertaining stuff out of these two as champs. So that's why I'm going with it. Reg, I'll start with you. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Where are we at?
Disagree. Denise, I said you're a sicko. Sicko mode. That song Drake and Travis Scott, they made this for you for doing this. Listen, I
want to change my username now to Denise the Hollywood Sicko Salcedo.
Yes. Look, we have a lot of huge events coming up here this summer. We got Forbidden Door, we got All In, we got All Out. FTR is primed to have some huge tag team matches coming up here. Can't have Jarrett and Lethal in here muddying up all this great action we're about to have coming on here soon. FTR needs to get the victory, and they got to get to all these amazing tag teams. Forget all these events I said. Just the amazing tag teams they have in AEW that should be in this spot that Lethal and Jeff Jarrett is. Makes me mad. So Lethal and Jarrett need to lose. FTR needs to move on to some of these other amazing tag teams. Lucha Bros. I could go through the whole list. They got to be with someone else. I love that Jeff Jarrett stuff is funny and great and all this, but come on, dude. You can't be in the title. I think this is the second show in a row that he's in the title match. You're tripping. You're wilding.
So then do you mean that's actually them getting the titles? Because how many times can you have them lose? Reg, it's going to happen. I'm telling you. I'm manifesting it.
Stop this.
It's going to happen. Let's go. Chi-Town's first sends in a super chat saying Denise going full unpurist with the anti-FTR agenda. Respect. I'm not anti-FTR at all. I love FTR, but I kind of want something different. I'm sorry. I want something different. Phil, you're nodding your head. What are your thoughts?
I think that Jeff Jarrett is a menace. The way that this guy has got come here and had four tag title matches. 4. I think it's 4. like, come on, man. Enough, man. And I find the Jarrett stuff entertaining. I think it's very funny. Every time I want to hate it, I find myself laughing at it. I keep thinking like he's on TV too much, but again, every time he comes out in My World Hits, I find myself laughing at it.
Every time.
He's great. But no, he absolutely should not win here. The second I saw Aussie open his signing last night, great signing. I was like, this is a stacked tag team. But it doesn't feel like we see that enough on TV. Like, we need to get back to the bread and butter of this tag division, and that's great matches, big feuds, and we haven't seen that in a while. I don't think you get that if you're going with Jeff Jarrett as champion. So I think FDR has to win.
Quality matches. I feel like they could put on some quality stuff. Come on now.
So you want the timeline of this to be taking the belts off of the Acclaim when they were still white hot.
Okay, I freaking disagreed with that, by the way. That was terrible. That was a terrible, terrible decision to do. And I was so pissed with that.
But I'm just saying, so you want the timeline of this for the Acclaim to lose the belts to the Guns and the Guns to be transition champions to get the belts back on FDR, just for them to lose to Jarrett and Lethal?
Okay.
What?
The Hollywood sicko.
Here's the thing, though. I see those two things separately because I
How?
see it as... Here, I'll tell you
How?
what. Look, stop shitting on my idea about Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. We can have some. You said it yourself. You find yourself being entertained, Phil.
It is. It's funny.
Exactly. Now, that, you know what? If anything, and this was something that I was talking about on my show last night, was if we can sit through the freaking ass boys being tag team champions, you're telling me we can't sit through Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett as tag team champions?
But the ass boys served a purpose. Like, they were transition champions, so the FDR wouldn't
Why did we have to get the titles back on FTR? Why couldn't we just keep them on the Acclaimed?
Because I feel like that's been the story since they dropped all the other belts and they came back. Like, I got what they were doing with the FDR. But man, it's one thing to see somebody as entertaining. Like, I think the Ricky stuff has exposed how funny Juice Robinson is. It's hilarious. I don't want to see Juice Robinson beat Orange Cassidy for the International Championship, though.
There you go.
Well, you know what? I have a feeling we might be surprised. I'm manifesting it, okay? And then if that happens, I want everyone. Come on, Tony, do it. Do it, Tony.
I'm finding Denise in the building to yell at her if this happens. I want to yell at her in her face.
Are you sitting in the media section, Reg?
Yes.
Oh shit! So, I feel like during the match you're gonna be staring at me like this.
I am.
You're not even gonna look at the match. You're just gonna be like this, staring at me.
Don't do this.
You know what? I should take a sign.
No.
Well, media side is usually not on TV side, so I would kind of waste my sign, but whatever. Yes, boy sends in a super chat saying, you want to sell out Wembley, ladies and gentlemen, just hear me out, Bullet Club Goldberg.
Oh. Y'all are being nasty in the chats today. Y'all are following Denise's lead with this stuff. All
right, so I'm actually... I would want to see Goldberg come out in AEW.
See, you're tripping. All right, look.
No, I would want to see it. I would want to see even just
to
one
Russell
time.
Who?
No, it doesn't matter because you want to know why? Because I made that prediction in my 2023 crazy wrestling predictions video that I did with Sean. One of my predictions was that we would see Goldberg in AEW, and it would mean a lot to me if that prediction came true, just so that I can say that I was right and that I'm freaking Nostradamus? Nostradamus? I want to be sidekick.
Not for Goldberg to get a moment, not for AEW to have this, just so you can get your prediction.
Yeah. Even if he just comes out and waves at everybody, or just comes out and does his little thing, or comes out and bangs his head on a wall. I don't care.
Please don't bang your head on a wall, Goldberg. Please.
Relax, Grandpa.
Please.
JB sends in a super chat saying Roman, Solo, Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, my boys all bringing home that tag team gold this weekend. See, I ain't the only sicko around here. JB, thank you so much for the super chat here. We got another one here from Ronald Hollick. Thank you so much to Ronald for this generous super chat. Ronald says, Tony Khan, love you, man. As big as an ECW fan, you are growing up and taking one of the ECW tropes of turning out the lights with debuts. How do you not debut Sabu with turning out lights and he appears? Reg, I see you got a reaction here. Thoughts?
Bro, Ronald, what a great, amazing point. that's his favorite thing to do, turn off the lights. One of the most infamous light turner offers come back in the ring is
Infamous
Sabu.
light turner offers.
The issue here is I'm still like I was there at the show live.
Why is that Turner offers? All right, I'm sorry. That was great. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
We ruined your train of thought. Continue on.
I was there live in the building, and I'm still confused as to why Sabu's here. Like that. Like, yes, I agree with what Ronald's saying, but I'm still like, why was he here though? What's going on here?
We did do the lights down for Satnam Singh.
Not for Sabu though. It's crazy out here.
Tony Khan, you're gonna pay for your sins, Tony Khan.
Listen, he's really gonna pay for his sins if Jay Lethal and Jarrett walk out with those belts. I'm telling you, Mandy's gonna be walking us around the route to go into the media scrum, and I'm just gonna detour from this and like start banging on all the doors, like Tony Khan, get out of here, get out of here. Will Washington, Tony Khan, get out of here right now.
The next brawl out, the double or nothing brawl.
Yeah, it's just Phil and Tony in the back.
hey, that's true. What are you gonna do when we're all sitting there and we're having to do the media scrum and you're asking questions to Jeff, Jarrett, and Jay Lethal?
Don't hand me the mic. I'll tell you right now. Do not hand me the mic. It's not gonna be good for anybody. Don't do it.
You know what?
Just
I'm
don't
not
do
even
it.
gonna ask a question. I'm just gonna say congratulations.
Nasty.
Deontay Swainier, thank you so much, Deontay. It's for the super chat. Deontay is always very kind on social media. Deontay sends in a super chat saying, "My birthday is this weekend on Saturday. I usually want just happiness. I wouldn't mind some funny chaos. All the love, Denise, Phil, and Reg." Deontay, happy early birthday, seriously, and I hope you have a marvelous time. And from the looks of it, you will with all the wrestling involved. So thank you so much to Deontay. Okay, and we got another one here from Chi-Town Spurs who says Bray Wyatt versus Goldberg for the Righteous Reg Dies Inside title. All right, if you had to choose, who you going with? Bray Wyatt versus Goldberg for the Righteous Reg Dies Inside title.
I'm going home. That's where I'm going. I'm not. Absolutely not. I don't want either one. I want this to end in double disqualification, double retirement match.
Double retirement match. Deontay Swainier says, above all, have fun, everyone, on all shows. Thank you so much to Deontay out here spreading some love. Yes, boy sends in a super chat saying, Wrestle who? I can see Sting's retirement match be against Goldberg in AEW. Thoughts? Oh, is that the retirement match you would want to see? I don't know. I feel like you can do a bunch of different options, but thoughts on this one? How much would you hate it, Reg?
A lot. I don't want to see that. If you're gonna have Goldberg in there, at least give us something crazy and put him in there against Kenny Omega. Like if you're bringing Goldberg, like we got to see him take a one-winged angel. Yeah, of course. Like at least Kenny Omega. At least we're gonna see some kind of like crazy thing. If you just have like a 1998 Halloween Havoc rematch, like I don't want this.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna bring Goldberg in, an honest answer, you need reasons for people to watch Collision. It's on TNT. It has the Nitro homage. I think he should go there and have a big match with Wardlow for a TNT
they
title.
both want it. They mentioned in an interview. Okay. They both want it. I'm
bad,
telling you, let it happen. Can't wait. All right. Pressing on from here, our next matchup that we're going to go ahead and get into is going to be the unsanctioned match between Chris Jericho and Adam Cole. I also realized that I do not have the updated graphic with Sabu because he is going to be the special enforcer. Blame AEW for this. I took all of the graphics from their little page where they give the graphics. So my bad for not having the upgraded graphic. Phil, let's start with you on this one. Picks here, Adam Cole, Chris Jericho, and how do you feel about seeing Sabu as a special enforcer?
I don't really understand why Sabu is involved here. He has no connection to either of these guys other than he may be friends with Jericho off screen. I don't really understand his reason for being enforcer here other than, Kyle's hurt, so you couldn't bring anybody else in. I don't know. I feel like Adam Cole's got to win this match because I feel like being his first big feud as a babyface, he needs to come out of this with some momentum. And I kind of feel like Adam Cole is going to be one of the next challengers for MJF after this. So I feel like he's going to win. And I mean, for the unsanctioned stuff, that's totally up Jericho's alley to possibly take a pin here and it not actually count so that he can continue to do his heel stick after this.
I agree with everything you said. Reg, thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much. The unsanctioned stipulation being put on here leads me to believe that Adam Cole is going to go over Chris Jericho, but it doesn't count, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't lead to Jericho taking all these pinfalls recently or whatever. Just kind of puts some kind of cap on it. But yeah, Sabu being there, as I said, I'm still confused. I don't know what connection he has here. When Adam Cole was doing the promo, I was like, it sounds like he's going to bring out Sabu, but why in the world would he bring out Sabu? And so they brought out Sabu, and I'm just confused about the whole thing. Chris Jericho's on his nostalgic run. Good. Have fun. Bring in your friends. Sabu was in the hospital recently. Hopefully this will help with his medical bills.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like this was, I like this for it being a surprise, right? And then the other thing that I like this for was, the guy's going to get himself a payday. Hell yeah. You know what? I'm always here for someone getting a payday. So let's press on from here and let's get into this next one. The next match we're going to talk about is the TBS Championship. Jade Cargill defending her title against Taya Valkyrie. Does the streak end here, Reg? Do you think it's over here?
It's tough because I thought, originally I thought in the first match that Taya could beat her because, Taya's a good contender. Not a bad way to kind of to cap off Jade's title run. She'll be a great way to kind of carry it. But then I kind of feel like how we were talking about earlier with Bianca and her losing. If it's somebody that's going to beat Jade, it probably should be like a big victory. Somebody, maybe that in the future they're going to try to build off, have this great accolade. I don't know if Taya really needs the accolade of beating Jade. She'd be a great next champion, but it should be somebody, a woman's AEW pillar type deal of like, we're building the future on this person. I don't think no disrespect to Taya, but I don't think the future is going to be built around Taya. Maybe get that victory to somebody that's going to be building the future of this division on. That's why I'm here to believe that Jade's going to get to 60-0 on Sunday.
Reg, it's time. I have to disagree with you because I think you're wrong here. First of all, I think Taya Valkyrie should win this title. And I know what you mean by kind of giving it to a 4-pillar type of person in the women's division. But the reason why I think Taya Valkyrie should win this is because Taya Valkyrie, she is one of those people that comes with a lot of credentials, right? She's wrestled all over the world. Unfortunately, she didn't get the opportunity that she had worked so hard for in WWE. That did not work out for her, right? And she's had some of the best stuff. She has some of the most experience when you think of a lot of the women on the roster. And so with that being said, I do think she needs to have a moment where you set her up for, this is not just Taya Valkyrie, the person that has had a lot of buzz behind her name. Now this is Taya Valkyrie who came in and defeated Jade Cargill for the TBS championship. So for me, if she were to defeat Jade, it basically tells everybody, you know what? I have arrived. I'm here. And it sets her up to be a top player with some of the top women in AEW. And I would love to see her in these matchups with, they could do another rematch with Jade, or, even seeing her wrestle people like Toni Storm, Jamie Hayter, your Britt Bakers, your Thunder Rosas, all of these different people, because I think she's that quality competitor that will bring something different to the table. So that's why I do think Taya Valkyrie should win this one. Phil, are you going with Reg here? Are you going with me here? Are you seeing things differently? What are your thoughts?
Well, I agree with a lot of what you said. And I initially thought that Taya was going to win in the build to this because I was like, all right, why are we running this back if you're not just going to give her the win?
Rematch.
But the thing that made me feel like Jade is going to win is her stopping the other jobber for coming down and giving her the 60th win. And I think they had already teed it up. And I think that is foreshadowing to her beating Taya at Double or Nothing and getting her 60th win. But I do feel like she kind of needs to lose because it's not so much that I think that this reign has been horrible, but I'm just ready for her to take a part in the main storylines. Like,
we lost Reg. He officially had it. He's like, I'm done. I'm walking out.
Yeah, but I think the streak has kind of handcuffed her from getting into other stuff like the homegrown stuff. Like, if you're talking about homegrown women stars, like, she's an obvious person that should be on that team. And so if there's like a 5-woman team later on, she needs to be on that team, but she needs to be in a spot where she can take a loss so it doesn't feel predictable. So I could understand why she would lose here. I don't think she's going to, though. I think she's going to retain. And if she does lose, it's probably going to happen after this.
Okay, I see where we're going at here. All right, let's see what we got. We got a super chat here from Shawnee Arani. Thank you so much to Sean, who says, I'm happy Sabu is getting a nice paycheck. Dude sacrificed so much for my entertainment and has been through a lot over the recent years. A pioneer, dude. Definitely a pioneer. Sean, thank you so much for the super chat and sending in your thoughts. Leonard Aarons III, good to see you, Leonard. Leonard says, Taya should win. She's a champ's champ with gold at MLW and AAA right now. We need to see what's next for Jade, and we can't wait for Chris to return. I don't know how far along Chris is to returning or not. Does anyone know? I haven't seen any updates on that.
Yeah, I haven't seen any updates, but she looks great. That picture that she showed in her apartment, she looks swole. She looks great. So if she's close, it'd be good to see her. Maybe if Jade wins, she comes out at the end. That would be kind of cool. I don't know if she's ready. I don't know.
It would feel like if Chris is still so far away from returning, it would feel like a long time to wait for Chris Statlander to return.
Yeah, yeah, it would be nice to see her if they have her, but if they don't, I don't think they should wait for Chris. Right. I didn't know that Taya was still MLW champion. I thought that she dropped the belt. So she's signed with AEW, but still MLW champion?
Let me confirm that. Oh, she still is, Reg? Okay.
Yeah, because MLW does the tapings where they're 3 or 4 months behind. It hasn't even shown her losing yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much to Leonard. We got another super chat here from Ronald Hollick, who says, after the win over Mercedes' resurgence, shoot Willow to the moon. Willow should beat Jade, then at Forbidden Door, do Athena versus Willow 2, winner takes all. I would not be against this whatsoever. I think they were handed a silver platter there with an opportunity to push Willow. Reg, any thoughts on this one?
I like that. I think Willow, like I said, exactly what I was saying about somebody beating Jade. I think somebody like Willow is exactly the perfect person for that. Been set up, has some matches against Jade, could use that as the rubber match is the one she finally wins and finally gets over. This big win at Resurgence is kind of like lightning in a bottle that AEW didn't know that they were going to have, and I think they should capitalize it in some way. And starting last night with that video package, I think was the right way.
Yeah, I liked that a whole lot. 2K Universe Elite says time for the TBS title to rotate with other women. And I kind of feel that way. Honestly, I really do. Thank you so much to UK Universe Elite for also sending this in as well. All right, before we continue on, just a heads up to everybody. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining the show. I am live on Tuesdays to chat NXT, Wednesdays for AEW, Fridays for SmackDown, and then Saturdays starting June 17th. I will also be here for Collision. I also do prediction shows, and I'm going to be at Double or Nothing this weekend, so keep an eye out for additional content. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. Let's go ahead and continue on and get into our next match. And this one here is going to be the TNT Championship ladder match. TNT champion Wardlow defending against Christian Cage. And I will start this one off by saying, please, I want it to be Christian Cage. I want to see him be TNT champ. Reg, do you agree? Do you disagree? What are your thoughts?
This Wardlow experiment, I don't know. I like, there's some weeks where I'm like, he's the guy, he should continue to do this. But then there's other weeks I'm like, Phil and I talked about it very recently. Arn Anderson has been like the most compelling part of the whole Wardlow thing, which sounds insane. It's like when Wardlow and Joe were doing the thing and he started talking about his dad, I thought we were going to get a little bit more something to grab onto with Wardlow, and we haven't really got it. That's also why I think we should maybe continue with him as the TNT champion and why I think he should win, so they could, get some more story to him and get people to connect with him on a kind of deeper level.
Phil?
Yeah, I think it's too soon to take the belt off Wardlow. I feel like the way they ended Hobbs' reign, which I didn't really like, I feel like you've got to go full force with Wardlow now. I think it would be a shame to end Hobbs' run like that and then do this start-stop push with Wardlow. So I think Wardlow's got to win here.
And that's the thing. I feel like both of you guys are right too, because you mentioned like basically sacrificing Hobbs's reign as TNT champ to go back to Wardlow and then for it to just end just like that. I completely get that because I didn't want to see Hobbs basically fit. I wanted to see more of him as TNT champ. I was kind of low-key upset when he lost, right? And with Wardlow, it's just a matter of fact that I wanted something different from him, and I kind of feel like it's been very stale, and that's why I kind of want Christian Cage to win, because I'm like, I know Christian Cage gonna liven this place up as champ. So that's the reason. But at the same time, it's like if he does defeat Wardlow, where do you go from here with Wardlow? What do you do? If he's going to take this out to Christian Cage. But with that being said, I still want Christian Cage to win because I find the idea of Christian Cage being champion a little bit more exciting. So that's where I'm at on this one here. All right, we got Benoit Richer here, who is a YouTube member, who says Christian Cage, TNT champion, would be explosive. This is also from YouTube member Tim Weininger Jr., who says when Cage wins, people need to go through Luchasaurus to challenge for that bout. I like that, Tim. That's a good one as well. All right, and now let's go ahead and get into our next match here. And the next one is the 21-man Blackjack Battle Royale for the AEW International Championship. The people that are going to be in this match include Jay White, Juice Robinson, Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, Swerve Strickland, Keith Lee, Dustin Rhodes, Penta, Cero Miedo, Ray Phoenix, Kip Sabian, Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, Tony Nese, Ari Daivari, Big Bill, Lee Moriarty, Commander, Bandito, The Butcher, and The Blade. I was trying to channel my inner Excalibur. All right. So out of all of these names, do you think that Orange Cassidy is going to retain, win, or do you think this is an opportunity to spice somebody up and get somebody else an opportunity with the belt? Phil, we'll start with you.
I think that Orange is going to retain here. I'd be really surprised if he lost. I feel like we just talked about this with the Cody, the Roman stuff. I think they're trying to hit a number with Orange, and I think that's why he hasn't lost yet.
Ooh, Reg.
I can't see Orange Cassidy losing this match here. I think the way that there are so many other feuds and matches kind of intertwined in here, some matches we thought that should maybe be singles matches on this pay-per-view, Swerve and Keith Lee, Jay White and Ricky, that are going to play a role in like the bigger guys, the bigger names in this match kind of being, that's the way that they're going to get eliminated here. And I think Orange is going to use the momentum of everybody feuding with each other to get the victory here. I think it's going to be a fun match, though. A great way to kind of have a showcase to a lot of people that should be on the card regardless.
Right. And here we go. Mark brings up the fact of stacking the odds against the champ. And yeah, they are definitely stacking the odds against Orange Cassidy, which is like, if he wins, it's going to mean a lot more because it's like, oh, he went through all these 20 other men in order to retain his title. So it will be coming off a little bit more. I'm kind of like 99% sure we're going to be seeing Orange Cassidy win. So even then, I'm trying to think if there was, for that 1%, who would that person be that could actually win this if it's not Orange Cassidy? And I'm looking at this, I'm like, there's a lot of people who I would like to see win the title, and really the one that's most screaming to me is Bandito. I would love to see Bandito win this one, but I just do think that right now they have something going strong with Orange Cassidy, and they can keep it going. And I'm assuming, he's going to have a big match at Forbidden Door. I feel like, how could you not have him have a big match? And so for that reason, I also think that Orange Cassidy is going to retain. Leonard Aarons III sends in a super chat saying, I don't like the possibility that the best title reign in the company can end in this match. I get this being used to set up Starks, White, and Swerve Lee finally. Orange Cassidy, MJF should be main event for All Out. Okay. Thoughts on this one here? Are you against the title being on the line in a battle royale?
Yeah, I kind of think that's why he's not going to lose. I think for as long as he's been champion, I can't see him losing and like getting thrown over the rope. I do think it would be really funny if I don't know why I thought of this fantasy booking idea. I think it'd be really funny if if Juice came behind Orange Cassidy and did the old poetry in motion, leaned down, and Juice just pushed him over the rope like that, and then they just like cried laughing in the ring with Jay holding up the belt, and Jay's walking in Forbidden Door with that belt. I think that would be extremely funny, but I don't think they should do that. I don't see him losing and not getting legitimately pinned, because I think this reign has been
Right.
such a big deal. And I think the other story you're telling here is that MJF is complaining about having 3 opponents. This guy has 20 opponents, and he is welcoming
Ooh.
all challengers. He's the best champion in the company, and he's making that point here.
I love all the points you just made. It made me even more convinced that Orange Cassidy is definitely retaining. So I do like all of that. All right, we got Sheldon Jackson here with a super chat. Who says, before the names were announced, I went out of left field and said Swerve Strickland, and I'm gonna stick with it. Swerve to win and help lift the Mongol Embassy, or Jay White win to uplift the gold. I do think that that could also be a person that if Orange Cassidy were to lose, I could definitely see Swerve Strickland winning as well. And thank you so much to Sheldon Jackson for the generous super chat as well. We got another one here from Alexander Fitzgerald. Thank you so much to Alexander, who says, what if after the Battle Royale, someone from the Collision brand shows up like Miro or Andrade and challenges for the title? Why not? I wouldn't be against that. Keep things moving forward. I'm pretty sure they're going to use this Battle Royal to set up, even more stories from there and also continue to build on the ones that they already have, like Swerve and Keith and Starks and freaking Juice Robinson and Jay White. So I can definitely see this, doing all of that. Thank you so much to Alexander Fitzgerald. And I feel like we should also be seeing some people from Collision to help get people hyped up for that, for sure. All righty. Let's go ahead and move on from this one, and let's go ahead and get into our next matchup. And the next one is the AEW Women's World Championship match, Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm. Reg, we'll start it off with you. How do you feel about seeing this rematch? Are you interested? And also, do you think that Toni Storm is going to hold that title once again?
Super interested in this match. I think Toni Storm's run that she had was one of the best AEW Women's Championships run that they've had. I thought that Jamie Hayter hasn't honestly lived up to what she did. Not to the fault of Jamie Hayter, though. It's just that the way that they were showcasing Toni when she had the championship was like, yo, this is a fighting champion. She was on like 20 straight weeks of Dynamite or something defending her belt. And I think that, also being the interim championship, she kind of has like that chip on her shoulder of wanting to rectify that and wanting to carry the championship as a quote unquote real champion. So, and then there's the thing lingering of Jamie Hayter potentially having an injury and all this stuff kind of surrounding that. So I know that kind of leads me to believe that I think that Toni Storm's going to be taking the victory here. She's going to take advantage of all this stuff that Jamie Hayter's going through to become the new AEW Women's Champion.
Ooh, I like that. Phil, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, I think Jamie had a lot of support going into this. She had this huge groundswell of support, and I do think she's still over, but I think this reign has been kind of underwhelming, and not because of her. I think because she's been tied up in the Brit stuff for so long, and that didn't really lead anywhere. And then the two of them got tied up in the Outcast storyline, and that didn't lead to any money match as well. I mean, I guess you could kind of argue that this is the money match, but if that's the case, that's not a really good build for this match.
No.
And I honestly, I feel like they kind of dropped the ball with the build to both women's matches. I think that the Taya and Jade storyline is probably one of the better storylines during Jade's run, but I feel like they could have done more with it. I think that vignette that we saw on the YouTube this week was good, but I feel like we should have seen more of that on TV. And yeah, so I hate that if Toni does win, that's how this reign went for her. But I do feel like Toni's gonna win, especially now everything we're hearing about the injury. It seems like the injury is more serious than they thought. But it could be a blessing in disguise, because I think the idea of Toni winning and building up equity again for that belt and being a fighting champion on TV as part of the Outcast could really help the Outcast. And then if she's ready by All In, that could lead into a really good win for her in her home country.
So there's a lot in there that I agree with what you said, like pretty much everything. And same thing with Reg. I think you made a really good case for Toni Storm to win this title. And for me on this one, I really just think it depends on Jamie Hayter's status and whether or not, she's, how injured she is. Does she have to take time away? How much more time does she have to take away? I think that's the big thing. But I don't want to see Jamie Hayter lose, because I feel like you said, this reign hasn't necessarily, she got thrown in too much with all of this other stuff that kind of took away from her reign. And she was, super over. And I'm still going to say she still is over. Fans are still cheering for her. But I really do think that the fans, I think people wanted to see Jamie Hayter really be the one that sets this new bar for the AEW women's title picture. And unfortunately, that hasn't happened yet. Toni Storm still kind of holds that one too, but it doesn't mean as much to me, at least, because of the interim name in it. And I think that's unfortunate. So I feel like we really need to get a strong champion. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Jamie Hayter because, again, this is, of course, depending on how injured or not injured she is, but I'm going to go with Jamie Hayter because I hope it's not too serious. I hope she doesn't have to, step away. And I want to see her have the reign that I think fans wanted to see from Jamie Hayter in the first place. So I'm going to go with Jamie Hayter on this one. But let's continue on. We got 2 more matches to talk about. And the next one is the one that I think a lot of people are most excited to see. And that, my friends, is the Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club in the Anarchy in the Arena match. This to me is the match that if I wasn't covering this and I had an option of whether or not to buy the pay-per-view, this was a match that would sway me into buying this pay-per-view. Reg, how have you felt about this entire story, getting to see Hangman Page reunited with the Elite and all of that?
I think they've been telling that this has been one of the greatest stories told in AEW history. That moment with Hangman, that big Avengers combining moment, was just a great way to kind of cap this up. I think this week I didn't like the ending of the show. I'm number one Young Bucks fan everybody knows in the world. What the hell were those super kicks on Claudio last night? I don't know what's going on. The things got very weird. Beyond that, though, this match has some of the greatest professional wrestlers legit of all time in Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, Claudio, the Young Bucks, all the elements are going to be there. Last year, we were there at Double or Nothing for that great Anarchy in the arena. But having a bigger element with Danielson being involved and Moxley being involved, Claudio, and the different element of the Elite, this match is going to be amazing. As far as who's going to win, that is a great mystery. But I think Blackpool Combat Club is going to end up getting the W here in the end.
Oh, shit. I was kind of thinking the Elite on this one because I'm like, how do you to me, it was such a big moment to see them reunited. I feel like you can't take away from that moment by having them lose. But I see your point about the Blackpool Combat Club too, especially because what they're doing right now and having them be these mad men, savages that are just running wild on the roster is very appealing. But I'm like, I feel like you got to keep the hype up for the Elite. So I'm with the Elite here. Phil, what do you think? BCC, Elite?
This is tough. I mean, I think it could go either way. If I remember correctly, didn't BCC lose last year in the Anarchy?
Yeah, it was the Jericho Appreciation Society that won.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think they're gonna lose 2 years in a row. I kind of have a feeling that Blackpool Combat Club is going to win here. I think it's gonna be a way to keep those guys hot and to keep the Elite as the sympathetic baby faces leading into another match. I don't know if that's blood and guts. I don't know, because if you're going blood and guts, you can add a 5th member to that group. Maybe it's going to be Takeshita. Maybe it's going to be Kota. I don't know. But I think that's a way to keep this feud going.
Man, now that you brought up the fact that they lost last year, I'm like, shit. I'm still going to go with the Elite, but I'm not feeling too confident, though. I'm not feeling too confident, all truth. All right, and we got one more match to get into, the last and final one. It is the 4 Pillars match for the AEW World Championship. MJF defending his Triple B against Jungle Boy Jack Perry, Sammy Guevara, and Darby Allin. Do we expect to see a title change here? And also, how have you guys felt about this whole dang story? Reg, let's kick it off with you.
There's a lot here. A lot going on. There's been weeks where I like this. There's been weeks that I hate this. I hate Darby Allin on the mic, as everybody knows on my Twitter. I think they've been talking too much. I think that a bunch of these weeks they should have had Darby Allin just come in with destruction, destroying, trying to show that he'll do anything to win this belt. But he hasn't shown me that he's going to do anything to win this belt. He's told me, he said a lot of oh, I've done all this, and everybody's talked about their sob, crybaby stories. And Sammy Guevara has told us 95 times that he worked at Whataburger to get here. We get it. I understand. I'm into it. Blah, blah, blah. All this pillar stuff. Jack Perry, he's a handsome substitute teacher. We get all this. I understand everything that's going on here. It's just too much. It got muddied up in the end. MJF is going to retain this championship. Ending this show with just a heel MJF holding his hands in the sky, though, doesn't sound like it's going to be enough. I think that somebody's going to come at the end of this, and we're going to leave shocked here. I don't know who, I don't know what, but MJF's going to retain, and somebody's going to come and challenge him.
You think we think we're going to hear Cult of Personality at the end of the show?
I would put money on it.
I don't know. I would like to see it. I don't know if we will, but I would like to see it. I've been enjoying the pillar stuff. I think it's been very hit or miss some weeks. I think if this is like kind of a litmus test to see how these four guys have progressed, I think it's been very fascinating. I think my takeaway is that Darby is the closest to being ready to being world champion.
Yes.
He's still over. I'm going to disagree with Reg because I think he cut the best promo of his entire career on Wednesday. I thought that promo Wednesday was incredible. Haven't been that into any of the Jungle Boy promos since the first one. I thought the one he cut during WrestleMania week on Max where they did the back and forth in the ring was really good, but since then they haven't been as good. But no, Max is definitely winning this match, and I think the proof in that is when he came out and cut that promo, he got the loudest reaction of the night. Like, it's very clear these four guys, he's still the biggest star of those guys. And I don't think it's time to take the belt off of him yet. I've seen people are down on his title run, but I don't think this is the way to end it. I do think that, like I said, this makes Darby look huge. I like the storytelling they're doing with Jungle Boy because I do think Jungle Boy is going to turn. And I thought the big telltale sign of it was last night as those guys being separated of the heel being outside and the only guy being out there with the heel was Jack and Sammy was in the ring. I feel like we're going to get a double turn here.
All right. So there's a lot on here. I disagree with Reg on Darby Allin's promos as well. I think Darby's promos have been the best aside from MJF. Agree with you on Jungle Boy with that back and forth promo that he had with MJF. Marvelous. Love that. And I feel like that also leads to the idea where you mentioned Jungle Boy turning heel. This is something that a lot of people have started to see coming. And I feel that also would justify that first promo, that first back and forth between Jungle Boy and MJF, because MJF was kind of, they were on polar opposite sides. And MJF basically said, like, your morals and this and that is getting in the way of you actually becoming something, right? And Jungle Boy saying, "Oh, I'm never going to be like you, blah, blah, blah," right? So that would justify that as well. For me, I also agree that I don't think MJF should lose here. I would actually kind of be a little bit bummed if he did, because like you said, I know there are people out there that are not too happy with his reign, but I do think that just because you're unhappy with it right now, I don't think that doesn't mean that it can't get any better. It all really just depends on the challengers. And here's the thing, when it came to this story, how many people actually think that Sammy's going to win? Maybe not many. How many people think actually Jungle Boy's going to win? Not many. How many people think that Darby's going to win? Maybe a few, but again, not many. And also, to me, like, this is a 4 pillars match. 4 guys are involved in it, yet only 2 guys in this actually feel like they matter, and that is Darby and MJF. Like, this could have easily been Darby MJF as the main event, and it would have been fine with me, because I feel like they haven't justified me at all at any point that Jungle Boy or Sammy are actually going to win this. I've also kind of low-key hated the back and forth that they've done with Sammy in the story, where it's like 1 second he starts off as a heel, then he's a babyface, then he's a heel, then he's a babyface. It's like, okay, I feel like they've kind of contradicted his character a whole lot. Yet last night when he was basically saying, "Oh, I'm not going to do this for the money and this and that," I'm like, bro, you just did like 3 weeks ago. What are you talking about? Like, all of a sudden you're high above it. Why? That doesn't make any sense now. Like, this doesn't make sense to the story that they've been telling with Sammy. So I haven't been on board with that whole thing that they've done.
I do think it makes sense because I haven't been into all of the Sammy stuff, but I do think it makes sense because if Sammy's coming in looking around, he's looking around like these 3 guys are more well received than him, and he's looking around like, well, why? I'm a 3-time TNT champion, and he's looking at Darby like Darby has made it ahead of him. He took the route of getting a mentor in Jericho, and somehow Darby has pushed past him in their rivalry, and he's looking around like, no, I'm not going to take this paycheck. Why is everybody looking at me like I'm the only one in this match that cannot win? I'm going to win this match. I'm going to pin you.
See, again, I like your point here, but I'm still not a fan of what they've done with Sammy here. I feel like they have contradicted his character a whole lot.
Yeah.
So also, if just throwing it out there, if we were to see a title change, is there anybody besides Darby that you would actually see walking out here as the champ?
No, at this point, I feel like it's either MJF retaining or Darby winning, and I feel like the percentages is really 90% with MJF winning.
I
Really,
was gonna say, do you think people would be happy if Darby won? Like, what would be the reaction to that?
I think a lot of people like Darby. He's clearly insanely over as a babyface. I think people would love it if he won, but I just don't think this is the time. I think he will be world champion one day, but I don't think this is the time.
Okay.
I mean, I could potentially see them doing like Darby gets some kind of crazy win and MJF wins it back in a couple weeks. Like that wouldn't be the hugest surprise to me because Darby, like Phil said, Darby Allin is very over though. Like fans really do. Like the kids love him. Like it wouldn't be that huge of a shock if he did kind of pull out the victory here.
Yeah. The only thing is though, I feel like there's just too much lingering over it, and that's why I don't think he's going to win here because you have the CM Punk stuff lingering over it. He never lost that belt. People want to see them finish the MJF Punk stuff, and I don't think putting Darby in the middle of that is a good idea.
Yeah, and I kind of want to see. I want to see, CM Punk come out at the end of the show. I would be very excited if we did. But we got a couple of super chats here. This one's from Koi Stallings, who says the odds we see Kota Ibushi. Do you think we see him at all at Double or Nothing?
Maybe not at Double or Nothing, but I think that he definitely could show up at some point. I mean, because he's done spring break. He was here during WrestleMania weekend. I could see it.
Reg, do you see it? Don't see it?
I don't think he'll be at Double or Nothing, but I do see him in AEW soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Koi Stallings also sends in a super chat saying, I feel like we are getting a double turn, maybe Jungle Boy and Sammy. It feels that way. You're getting the heelish vibes from Jungle Boy and the babyface vibes from Sammy Guevara. Thank you so much to Koi for the several super chats that you've sent in. We appreciate your support a whole lot. Jordan Saylor sends in a super chat saying, Jungle Boy will lay down for MJF for the money, for the pin. Oh, God, I would kind of hate that, but...
I don't hate it. I
hate it. I don't know why.
That's a good way to turn Jack. Like Jack, they're gonna hate him if he does that. It's a good way to turn him.
I actually would like that quite a bit. I think a lot of people would hate it, but I think he would get a lot of heat off of that
in a good way. Yeah,
he would.
I think there's a lot of cool stuff you could do with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I actually would be, because I do think he's turning. I think he's gonna do something on Sunday night to turn, and I would not be surprised if he takes the money because we built all of this around Sammy taking the money. I would not be surprised if that happened.
I will tell you this: if that does happen, it will get a big reaction out of me. That's for sure, and I think out of a lot of people. So maybe it might be a great idea.
Come on, man! You wanted chaos, man. Take the money, Jack.
True. I did want chaos. Yeah. I'm here picking and choosing where I want it.
Yeah, you're like, actually, not that kind of chaos. It's this kind.
Listen, I come on, man.
Selective chaos.
I want Jack to essentially get this money from him and then show up on Wednesday acting like the Young Bucks, wearing some Jordan 1, fanning himself with money. Come on, man. Big money Jack, bro. We need to see it.
What would that look like? What would that look like? Him coming in with all the money? I don't know.
Fanning himself with money. Come on. Jordan 1's like a leather jacket on. Come on, man. Big money Jack.
I like it.
Alrighty. Thank you so much to Jordan Saylor for also sending that in. And I also want to welcome new YouTube member George Comport. Thank you so much for joining the channel and becoming a YouTube member. All right. So we are coming down to the end of this show. I want to thank everybody who tuned in. This is going to be a loaded, stacked weekend. I want to thank Reg and Phil for coming on here and reuniting Grapsado. Will for being here in spirit. Before we go, just a friendly reminder to everybody not to forget to subscribe to the channel, but I also want to make sure to give our guests the floor here. Reg, Phil, please let the people know where they can follow you, where they can support you, and all that good stuff.
Of course, you can find us on Fightful's YouTube channel every Saturday at noon. We will not be there on Saturday because WWE decided to put their show in the middle of our show this week. But we will be recording on Sunday at our usual time, just another day. But we'll be right back to our regular time next week. And, of course, you can find my writing on Bleacher Report. And you can find my man at PWI, other places.
You can find it every Saturday, of course, with Bill Lindsey. This Sunday, this time. We do Ask Grapsody every other week on Fightful Select. We didn't do it this week, so it'll be next week. Actually, also catch me on the ROH Post Show. Not today, though, because I'm in Las Vegas. And also catch me on Indeed with Mike. All this is on Fightful, righteousreg.bandcamp.com. I got a new video out that if you guys want to hear me rap, CB on Twitter. Thanks, Denise, for having us, man. This has been really cool. You're always you just fit right in like a glove when we get together to talk some predictions, talk some wrestling. So shout out to you.
Grapsado lives on. It lives on. Seriously, guys, thank you so much. I have posted the links to their Twitter so you guys can go ahead and give them some follows and check all of that stuff out. Johnny sends in a super chat saying BCC should win the trios belt at All Out or All In. I wouldn't hate that. Honestly, I would not hate that whatsoever. Would you guys be okay with that?
Yeah, I would love it if they have the match and Mox just does the Stone Cold thing, like cut the music off, cut the lights back on. Just start the match. I don't want any of this nonsense. Yes. Get this out of here. I don't want any of your hot dogging.
I love that. No more of the turn. What did you say? Turn the light offers? Or what'd you say? I forgot how you said it, but it was funny as hell.
I think that's light Turner offer.
Light Turner offer. Yeah. All right. Well, we are about to light Turner offer the lights on this podcast. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to Phil. Thank you to Reg. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Please do not forget to subscribe. As for me, you guys know where to find me at _Denise Salcedo. And please make sure to subscribe to the channel. We will catch you guys all next time. Goodbye, everyone.